So as you know, I'm an Indiana Jones fan. And it may come as a surprise, but I'm also a Christian. For a love of all that is good and a God-given duty to protect it. For love of all that is good and a God-given duty to protect it. And again, for love of all that is good and a God-given duty to protect it. And I've seen my fair share of Christian films that mostly chalk up to being propaganda that retroactively does a disservice to my community and religion. However, one 80s film that I grew up with stands leagues ahead of any outright Christian film that I've seen. Because Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade is one of the best Christian films ever made. But before we get into this video, please hit that subscribe button. This channel is about educating young men about life through my own personal experience and the nerdy stuff I like as well. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade can be interpreted as a Christian allegory in several ways. And these are just 3 examples of how it supports my interpretation of the story. Oh, sorry guys, just taking a break. You know, I'm such an Indiana Jones fan that I actually created my own archaeological thriller known as Legend of YAMASHITA'S Treasure. If you're looking for an adventure story that's going to rival Indiana Jones 5, which is going to disappoint us all, take a look at picking up Legend of YAMASHITA'S Treasure, now available on Amazon. Chapter 1, The Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is a central symbol in Christian mythology and represents the cup used by Jesus Christ during the Last Supper. In Christian tradition, the Grail is believed to possess miraculous powers and is associated with eternal life and spiritual fulfillment. In the movie, the Holy Grail is presented as a tangible artifact with the ability to grant immortality. This transformation of the Grail into a physical object aligns with the Christian belief in the physicality of Jesus' sacrifice and the significance of the Eucharist. Indiana Jones' quest for the Holy Grail parallels the Christian journey of faith and the search for the spiritual fulfillment. Just as believers in Christianity embark on a journey to deepen their relationship with God and find salvation, Indiana Jones sets out on a perilous adventure to find the Holy Grail. Along the way, he encounters numerous challenges and tests of faith, mirroring the trials and tribulations faced by individuals on their own spiritual journeys. The quest for the Holy Grail in this movie can be seen as a metaphor for the biblical narrative for the quest of eternal life and salvation through Christ. In Christianity, the concept of salvation involves the belief through Christ's sacrifice, humanity can attain eternal life and spiritual redemption. Similarly, Indiana Jones seeks the Holy Grail to save his father's life, symbolizing his quest for redemption and eternal life. The idea that a true believer can successfully navigate the trials and ultimately find the Grail echoes the Christian notion that faith and belief are essential for salvation. Chapter 2, The Themes of Redemption. In The Last Crusade, Indiana Jones has a strained relationship with his father, aka James Bond. They have been distant and have a history of unresolved conflicts. This broken relationship reflects the brokenness that exists in many human relationships, which is a consequence of sin according to Christian beliefs.
Dad! Oh. It's important!
Wait. Count to 20.
No, Dad, you listen.
Junior!
1, 2, 3, 4.
In Greek.
Ena, Theo.
As the story progresses, Indiana Jones embarks on a quest to find the Holy Grail, which serves as a physical representation of redemption and eternal life. Along this journey, Indiana faces trials that test his character and his capacity for forgiveness. He discovers that his father, who he initially resented, has been captured by the Nazis due to his own pursuit of the Grail. This realization ignites a desire within Indiana to rescue his father and reconcile with him. The climax of the movie revolves around the restoration of the relationship between Indiana and his father. In a moment of vulnerability, Indiana confesses his resentment and expresses a genuine desire to reconcile. The resolution of their differences showcases the transformative power of forgiveness, as they overcome the past conflicts and unite against their common enemy. This act of forgiveness and reconciliation reflects the Christian teachings of extending forgiveness to others and seeking reconciliation. The relationship between Indiana and his father can be seen as a reflection of the relationship between God, the Father, and humanity, depicted in Christianity. Just as Indiana seeks reconciliation from his earthly father, it can be interpreted as a parallel to the ideas of seeking reconciliation with God, the ultimate source of forgiveness and redemption. And then lastly is Chapter 3, the battle between good and evil. In the movie, Indiana Jones represents the forces of good, driven by a sense of justice and a commitment to preserving historical artifacts for the betterment of humanity. The Nazis, on the other hand, serve as the embodiment of evil, seeking power and dominance by exploiting the sacredness of the Holy Grail. This clear contrast between good and evil represents a common theme in Christian allegories, where protagonists often face moral challenges and confront the forces of darkness. Indiana Jones encounters numerous moral challenges throughout the movie, requiring him to make choices that align with virtuous values. For example, he must resist the temptation to use the power of the Holy Grail for personal gain. The struggle between light and darkness echoes the Christian concept of the battle between good and evil, where individuals are called to make choices that uphold moral values and resist the temptations of sin. Indiana Jones' commitment to preserving historical artifacts and thwarting the Nazis' plan can be seen as a symbolic battle against evil forces. By protecting the Holy Grail from falling into the wrong hands, he actively opposes the Nazis' ideology of hatred, oppression, and misuse of power. This conflict mirrors the Christian beliefs in the struggle against evil in the world, and the call to resist and overcome it through virtuous actions. If you haven't seen the movie, please give it a watch. It's available on Disney+. That's all I have for today. Thank you guys for watching. And for the love of all that is good and a God-given duty to protect it, I'll see you guys in the next one.